Okay, so I wanted to show you how I like to harvest ducks, specifically the kill step with this little apparatus. There's always the primary goal when you go to kill livestock, and that is to make the death quick and decisive and as painless as possible. But there's another goal. If we can harvest it in a way that keeps it beautiful, and that way we can at least show a token of gratitude that we have high regard for this yield of the life of this animal. So we're going to try to bring those two ends together: a perfect, clean, decisive, humane kill, and one that yields a beautiful result. This thing is called a finisher or a pither, and this is actually going to go in the back of the skull of the duck, and this will work with geese also, and so the duck will be brain dead instantly. And I'm going to do this in a cone, and I'll show you exactly how. I've got him in the cone. His breast is facing away from me. And I like to hold his head just like this, so that his beak is almost touching his own breast. And that way I've got a good strong hold on him, so I can apply pressure this way, and my fingers are holding him. So I'm going to bend his bill down to his chest, just like he's preening his breast feathers. And right back here, there's an arch in his skull. I can feel it with my thumb, and it's pretty much on level with his eyes. And that is a direct route to his brain. That's where the pither will go. So I'll go in there, and then once I've pithed him, he's not going to convulse enough to flip himself out of the cone. So this is a great way to be able to do many birds at once, because you can pith and bleed without having to hold them in to prevent them to flip out. So finding that arch with the pither, we're going to go right in and up a little bit. So that's his brain. Now I can open his beak and bleed from the inside of the mouth. A little knife is best. And then we're going to actually cut the artery that crosses the top part of the duck's bill. See, now we have homogeneous, clean skin with no exterior lacerations. It leaves the duck's neck intact. So it's not just beauty, it's also, we're increasing the yield. So usually when you slaughter a duck or poultry in a backyard setting, it's frequently just the axe, cut the head off. But that means that the head doesn't get scalded and defeathered with the rest of the carcass, and so it ends up being wasted. With this method, not only do we retain the head fully attached to the neck, but we make just a bleeding incision in the mouth, and so we don't even cut the skin, which means even when we go to the plucker or for hand plucking, we don't rip the neck skin and lose that integrity of the long sheath of neck skin connected to the head, which can be used later as a sausage casing. Or at the very least, you can use that whole long, beautiful, intact head for one of its highest and best uses, the stock body. Poultry heads and feet make the best poultry stock. It's not even debatable. Unfortunately, this little thing has a little ridge right there, which is essential for holding on tight so that we can get all the way in right underneath that little arc that I feel on the back of his skull. So it'll be right about there. And that's instant.
And it's a straight in motion? Or
yeah. I go
circumscribing it all?
I go in and up a little bit. And that's his brain. And then, see, his mouth is loose and open. He's not fighting me at all. This is where I can go in and cut that. And once you see a nice stream coming out, so the blade goes in up against the roof of his mouth. Pretty much right under his eyes. It goes pretty far in his mouth and then out. And you're cutting arteries that cross the top of his beak, actually. You can see the puncture is right here. Yeah, and he's gone. You'll see once you get a successful pithing that his eyes will dilate immediately. So now we have, after a little bit of cleanup, a clean, long, intact neck.